What's the kindest thing you've ever done for someone?
So when I was in second or third grade, it was third grade, a girl in my school got diagnosed with leukemia, and so to help her family help pay the bills for the chemotherapy, we put a picture of her on a paint can, and we had people donate money.
What is the kindest thing that someone has ever done for you?
I'd say it was my brother who, on a trip to England, I was setting myself up with a small business there, so it was kind of random, but he threw $10,000, like $10,000 towards my way as an investment there, and he took a real chance, and I paid him back a few years later, but it was a good-spirited thing for him to do at the time. Yeah, meant a lot.
About 15 years ago, when I was raising my kids on my own, things were a little bit rough. Christmas time, I opened up the front door and there was a big, huge basket that was full of treats for both the kids. They each had their stockings with their names on it, gift certificates to buy stuff at the mall. So I thought it was great. They were trying to be a secret Santa, but I knew who it was, and it was a very kind thing.
One time I stole something from my neighbor, and he forgave me, and he didn't tell my parents. He told me he would not do that.
So a few years ago, I broke up with my fiance of about 3 years. It was a pretty bad situation and a pretty bad breakup, and I didn't have a car, and so my dad just gave me his car so that I had something to get around.
So about a couple of years ago, my mom actually got gangrene in her stomach, and so she was in the hospital for about a week, and for weeks straight I had my neighbors coming over giving me dinner almost every night just to make sure we were fed and everything.
People who just always help out. So one time someone helped me a lot with some homework, and it really made my day. What kind of homework was it? It was just math homework. It's really hard, and it was a really stressful week, so they're just kind of like, this is exactly how you do that problem, and it just really helped me out.
Well, I remember in elementary school, I used to always bring home lunch, and I'd always be the first person at this table. And I remember one day I was sitting at this table, and my friend hadn't gotten there yet, and I was just sitting there by myself. I was already halfway done with my lunch, and this kid came over, and he totally sat by me and started a conversation and was super nice, and I didn't have no idea who he was or anything. I just thought that was so nice because he actually sat by someone that wasn't sitting with anyone. So yeah.
So as a teenager, there were a few times here and there. I kind of had to live between homes and with friends. I was homeless for a while. So one of my best friends, her mom would, instead of just kind of making me feel like a charity case, when school would start, she was like, all right, well, let's go clothes shopping. And I'm like, hey, Erica, why don't you come with us, and why don't you get a shirt or something? And she would have me get another pair of shoes. She would buy me a coat. So I think it's things like that, which wasn't a big deal to her, but it really touched me.
My uncle gave me my first job when I just first graduated high school.
What was that job?
I helped him build some housing and stuff, just remodeling and stuff. Not a huge job, but it really helped me get off the ground and helped me get this job, so really great.
What is the kindest thing that someone has ever done for you?
There was a girl in my math class that let me copy her homework every single day. I'm a junior in college and I'm still taking freshman math.
I've learned that small things can really make someone's life. They'll remember it years later, and simple acts of kindness go a long way. So.
Well, I feel not only being kind, people, when someone is kind to them and they do something for them, it changes their life in so many ways. And also the person that does the act of kindness, their life also changes in so many ways for what they did.
I also think that you can see that it doesn't take that much to be kind. So if you just compliment somebody each day or do something small for someone, it can really affect their life. I mean, there's stories that we did, and they were just really small ones, and it affected their life a lot.
Like, out of all of the things that we've learned, it's really fun to talk to people because like you can see like their face lights up when you're asking them about it, because like they obviously remember it as something that they like. It meant a lot to them to have that happen to them, and it's just really, it really digs deep because it makes you want to be a better person, I guess. Like, it makes you want to, well, you want everyone to feel like that all the time because it's just so sweet how they smile when they're talking about it, or like the way that their eyes look, and it's just like the greatest feeling. Yeah, you're gonna make an impact on them, and it's really gonna what's the word? Impact them.
People don't realize the impact they have on other people. Like, no matter what it is or what they do, if it's positive or negative, it's always going to have a huge impact.
It was in elementary school, and I would go play soccer, and none of the other girls were really out there except for my friend Ike. He would always go out there and play with me, and I developed this crush on Stuart. And Ike figured that out, and he decided, while we were waiting for the goalie to break out in song, he sang "Call Me Maybe" on the soccer field and gave me Stuart's number. I was pretty embarrassed, but I was thankful that Ike did that for me, because, you know, it's just nice to know that someone does care about you and that they would do silly things just to make you happy.
So before, when I lived in Florida, I kind of had no friends. I'd just sit at home. I wouldn't really go hang out with anyone. You know, I'd see people at school, but even then, you know, it wasn't any true friendships with anyone. And so then I moved here, and, you know, it had been a month. I'm at home, and then this girl comes, and she knocks on my door, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to come hang out?" I go to her house, and she threw this big surprise birthday party for me, and no one had ever done anything like that for me, and I barely even knew her. So even having her do that for me without looking for getting something out of it, just to be kind and welcome the new girl to school, it just really helped get me more excited to be here. And as time went by, she turned out to be one of my best friends, and because of her, I have all my friends now, and I'll be forever grateful.
Well, like 10 months ago, my best friend passed away, and so like all the people that just like brought me stuff or like would check on me, and they like made me feel like I wasn't alone and that like I would be okay, you know. It was just made me feel so loved, and yeah, so.
When I was younger, I was bullied for a really long time, and I didn't really have a lot of friends, and nobody really liked me. I was kind of a weird kid, and I think that the kindest thing anyone's ever done for me, and the kindest thing that you can really do for anyone, is just like be their friend and let them know that they aren't alone and that somebody cares about them, because it can really change their life, and it can really like, it can really yeah, it makes them feel included.